Yeah, I saw a post yesterday on Twitter about, so a friend was telling a friend's story. His friend recently committed suicide because of the financial pressure the guy's been facing. And, you know, he's also in a lot of debt. And ironically, one of his challenges was not able to pay for his children's school fees. Unknown to him, his wife already went ahead to pay. And then she kept the secret from him. She didn't tell the husband that, okay, well, dear, I have paid for the children's school fees, because she wanted the school to refund her the money after he has paid. Well, and then unfortunately,
he took his life.
He took his life, you know, and everyone was agog.
So
with
we
comments.
had this conversation this morning, yeah? Yeah. And I said, the first thing I said was, and this might sound a bit, you know, untoward, but I said, she killed him. And it wasn't like as if it was a direct action. It was based on things that had transpired over the years. And perhaps maybe because this couple had drifted away from each other. Why? It's one basic thing. It's very simple. Every family should actually know this, that the basis of every marriage or every institution is communication. Once you don't have that, it's zero. Not just communication, but also emotional intelligence. If your partner is going through something that has, you know, gotten to that extent of him taking his life, I'm sure there were signs. I'm sure you could have seen it. I'm sure you noticed it, but you just didn't have that. It wasn't in your culture as a family to actually express yourselves in certain ways, and that's why they drift apart.
I'm going to counter that and say he had killed himself before he actually died. Why? Because he could not share those woes with his partner.
True.
Because I'm sure that if he had opened up a little more on some of these issues, she might have been more aware. So there's something I've said to my husband a few times. I can't read your mind. I might be able to see some things are happening, but I might not know the extent. So if maybe because of ego or embarrassment or shame, you don't want to actually share the extent of the pressure you're under, honestly, it's on you. Not to say ill of the dead, it is on you.
I think you mentioned the right words, ego, embarrassment, or shame. Now, these are words that should not exist
in a marriage.
Of a marriage. You should be as bare as possible. Partners should learn to give that enabling environment for my partner to be as naked as possible when it comes to expression. That's the word, as vulnerable as possible. I was telling you, this morning, that I think there should be an institution you go to before you go into the institution of marriage. I think we should have a school that people should go to, so you know exactly how to communicate with your partner. And then they give you a graduation plaque and say, now go forth and get married. Because that's the #1 killer in marriage.
I remember we had a similar conversation earlier this week, and I was saying that, even yesterday I mentioned it briefly, that people really do not understand the real-life complications of what a marriage or an ideal marriage situation should look like, or what it should be.
You said, you asked if they're emotionally ready. That was what you said.
A lot of things need to be considered. Your emotional maturity, not just physical maturity. Physical maturity doesn't even count at all. Emotional maturity, mental, your psychology. Is it in good condition to want to go into that institution? So those are questions that you really need to ask yourself, because if you are emotionally and mentally sound, then you can exhibit emotional intelligence. Then you can know what to do when it comes to certain situations. Communication is a barrier in a lot of marriages. There are a lot of couples that are single but living married. They are married but living single.
Exactly.
They are married. Oh yes, I have that ring on my finger. I'm married, but you are not communicating to your spouse. You're not having that relationship that you should have with your spouse. Hence the question of, where does ego come in a marriage? You are supposed to be vulnerable. Bear everything the way it is, so that everybody knows what is going on. There was sorry, darling, there was a conversation. No, really, it's very, very, very painful. And, you know, to be honest, sometimes I have these conversations with my husband where I'm like, you know what, I really need to know what you're thinking. Because sometimes I catch you lost in thoughts. What are you thinking?
Those moments when husbands are lost.
Yes,
trust me. No, this is the thing.
What it is.
Before you say that, the truth is, yes, there are certain burdens. Husbands don't want to, you know,
share.
To put, no, not share, not float. We just don't want to put it on your shoulder. We feel that we can handle it. But it is not a good idea. I am also guilty. There's sometimes you're like, this woman doesn't know what I'm going through. But no worry, I'll take care of it before she needs to.
There's a reason there's that saying that 2 heads are better than one.
I agree.
There is a reason for that saying.
We're on the same page.
And I feel there's some men who want to play that card of, oh, no, you're a woman, you don't know how to, you don't know what to do. But come on, there is something that God has blessed women with. And I'm not even trying to play that feminine or feminine.
What were you trying to say real quick? What were you trying to say real quick?
What I was saying is people need to understand and filter the information they get and how they respond to it. So if, for instance, a man does come out and be vulnerable with you, you need to have a response that is constructive, not just that alarm or fear. And
encouraging,
you have to be encouraging, uplifting. Yes.
And supportive.
And supportive.
Because you never know how close he could be to the edge. So that's my final note on this.
Thank you very much.
Hey.
Ew, Corona. Do stay tuned. We've got more coming your way.
I was trying to be supportive. Your hand would have been hanging.